Happy Friday, everyone. It is the 25th of May, 2018, 8 a.m. Chicago time. Thanks for joining me for another Trader Bite where we prepare, anticipate, execute, or so we try. Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Nothing is indicative of future results. This morning's market stance, really interesting stuff going on. We'll go over it. I'll try to make this as short as possible. I want to start out by reminding you that this is Memorial Day weekend. Other than Thanksgiving in November, this weekend is, well, at least here in Chicago, is pretty crazy. A lot of people leave work early. I know the floor gets... back in the day gets really empty really early. So I'm expecting it to die out, but we're getting some big moves, especially in crude. And there's quite a bit of repricing in the market this morning, starting at 6 a.m. Chicago time. We're seeing volume come in and push things around. So the overall market stance, the DAX is hanging tight to gains. The DAX is hanging tight to gains this morning, but the rest of the index, the risk assets are lower. Crude oil is taking a little bit of a pummeling. $2 down, about 2.9% so far, and continues to trend down, pushing through pretty much everything. And so that's what we've got this morning. The bonds are strongest, up 29 ticks this morning, with a Bund to follow, up 89 ticks. U.S. dollar, the 10-year note, gold, and the yen. So pretty much, other than the euro, pretty much everything. Pretty much everything that is safety related is up. We're continuing to push the low in the ES, slipping through on some size here. We're pushing through yesterday's mid. Yesterday was an interesting day. We'll talk about that a little bit, but overall risk off this morning, driven by news related events. And of course, it doesn't help to have this holiday weekend coming in at the same time. So let's get started here with a quick review of yesterday's expectations. Yesterday, I expected the ES to open up around 27.26 and push up to around 27.32 or so, at least to the closing print from the prior day, which was at 30.25. And then I was looking for a ride down to 27.1475 as a key target, the point of control of the day, as outlined here. That's the primary scenario. Secondary scenario, an open auction that is unable to push higher and just starts to slide down. An initial push down to 21, and then continuation to the point of control before we find buyers and start moving back up to continue this up auction from the prior day. So here's what actually happened. Just somebody threw a grenade in it. News events. The news that the Trump administration has decided to cancel its participation in the North Korean summit has just exploded that. But we did accomplish scenario one relatively quickly. We took out the prior day's close, which was at 30.25, and pushed to 30.5 for a one tick fill there. And then a small bounce at the first stock zone it was at 21 right down here for a small pullback, and then we continue down to the prior day's point of control. That's exactly what was outlined in scenario one. Here it is again. push up, close the gap, and move to the point of control, the brown line, the maroon line. So that's what we got. And then it continued down and through the prior day's low. Prior day's low for a poke. And we ended up with this small zipper at the low, which to me, a small zipper at the low implies a weakish low. It's not quite an excess, especially on a 4-tick Renko. And we push back up in what is a V-shaped pattern for the day. And we end up moving back and resuming the opening swing. Remember, the opening swing high is 30.50. Opening swing low, 25. And the SOC for the news is right here at 30 somewhere. It's actually at 30 up here somewhere. Right here. As soon as it touched the prior close, we got the news. And we saw some pretty good prints to the downside. If you're a part of Convergent, I showed yesterday, I posted the details of how I'm determining the SOC. Just refer back to yesterday's log in the Head Traders Room or channel. So we went down and all the way back up and consolidated into the close. We moved the point of control to the top on the close. So the expectation into the overnight or the extended hours is a continuation to 27.33, at least 27.33 in the overnight. But we expect this to continue higher coming into today's session. And that is what we got. We ended up pushing higher in the overnight session to a high of 27.37.75. Okay. And we'll look at that. Look at the overnight. Here's the overnight. We continued higher. Just a beautiful push higher. A lot of this energy that was built up in this point of control area released, goes sideways, and then this morning at about 6 a.m. we have this selling, and it's selling on pretty good volume. Consider that the rest of the session was very light, and the volume has accelerated a fair amount from 6 o'clock onwards. So if we shift yesterday's range out, so we get rid of those volume bars from yesterday, we just look at today's volume bars. They should pop up. Why aren't you popping up? Well, they're here anyway. Let's extend this. So you can see that it's fairly muted throughout the session, and then around 6 o'clock we get this increase in volume down here, and delta is strong down. Delta is moving with price. Okay, so we have some agreement on the direction. This move is quite meaningful, and that's where we are this morning. So we're in a trend down on the overnight session. The range is quite large for the volatility that we've had. We've had about 20 points, 21 points of range so far. This completely blows up my homework from last night, the scenarios that I have built from last night. This happens every once in a while, but it also gives us an opportunity. The problem with this that I've seen around holidays is the movement happens, and then the market opens, and we get a quick, swish swash on the open, and then it just goes dead and sideways for the rest of the session. Given the holidays, it's almost like the market just gets gets tired. Can't talk this morning, and gets tired, and so it rests sideways. So look out for the 27, 20, 21 area this morning. Given what we've built so far, it's likely to spend a lot of time here during the session. I suspect that this point of control from yesterday, so we've shifted the point of control from the RTH up. Okay, we had a lower high, lower low in price, but we had a shift in value up. This is a great day-to-day, inter-day, or multi-day setup to blow out some shorts, and that's what she did. That's what they did yesterday. That's what they did yesterday. Just complete push through. Remember, 27.30, 27.33 and a half, 27.33 even. These are stops. This is a stop run right here. Okay, so we blow that out, and then now we're moving back up, and it looks like we're going to take the RTH point of control and most likely shift it down here unless we have another V bottom. Okay, and so that's what we've got this morning. It's I anticipate a fair amount of action. First key resistance coming in is 27.27. 27.27. That's yesterday's close. The point of control area. Just a key area overall down here. I'm going to sell 27.27 on a first test, on a virgin test coming into today's session. Okay, so that's what we've got. Now, before we move on, guess what? We are going to make sure that we take a moment today and hit the like button. Please do hit the like button. Find it. If you're seeing this in an embedded view somewhere, it does require you to log into your Gmail account. You don't need to create a YouTube account. You can use your Gmail account and log in and just find the video and hit thumbs up. You can find the video by going back to the link that brought you here in the first place. If this is embedded, find the YouTube logo at the bottom right. Click on it. That'll take you to the stream. Hit like. Thank you. I'd appreciate it. So here we go. Get rid of these. Okay. So here we are. Middle of yesterday's session. Okay, we have pretty good support underneath us. Okay, and the expectation, given that we've driven so far, I have not seen a continuation move or an extension move yet. The overnight inventory is just short. I'm looking for the market to open up in an auction, test lower, extend the overnight low, push through, and then impulse up, back towards yesterday's VPOC, and I'm expecting us to battle at 27, expecting us to get stuck here, and then we go off into the holidays. All right. So expecting it to go dead after that. So not expecting yesterday's low. Yesterday's low is relatively firm. I believe that yesterday's low is probably is likely to be intact. Not so in crude, but I do expect us to continue lower and to balance. Now it leaves investors with 3 days of risk, given the action out of the White House, given the action. There's some stuff from Spain this morning. Italy's in question, the politics there. 3 days, folks are going to square up. The big money is likely to square up and make sure their risk is hedged. Of course, they may use futures to hedge stock or option positions and so on. So expect a wiggle on the close. Expect it to go quiet in the middle of the day and expect some volume on the close, in my opinion. So that's the primary scenario. The secondary scenario is we open up, test lower, push higher immediately, tag that 27.27, and then make another trip lower to extend the low and hold steady in the middle. We end up with a double distribution profile in this area. But given the action that we've seen so far, there's potentially the scenario of a trend down. So the third scenario is responsive right away, but for an open test drive or an open rejection reverse, and then we start gunning for that low. If we gun for that low, we are likely to push into 2703.50, consolidate, and that 2700 is likely to go. And this is the risk aversion scenario for people who are holding positions that are not so comfortable, likely to square up and help us push through this 2700. 2700 is not likely to hold on a retest. It's basically a double bottom right now, and that's what things are looking like. A quick look at crude. Here's my crude chart. Let's change the scale and look at it from a bigger picture perspective. I'm just going to leave the profiles. Oh. Here's what crude has done. We had this crazy Iran announcement going on, and the market has since seen pretty good rally. A solid consolidation up here. Look at this consolidation. Holy cow. That's a lot of trading sideways up there on the session of the 21st. And then since then, it's been coming off as more and more talk of supply coming in to offset the potential for Iranian oil coming off the market. And then this morning, an absolute blow up. And we are back to the template day, which goes way back here, which is the session of the 8th. It says 5/7 here, but that's because the session starts at 5 p.m. These are all Chicago times. It starts at 5 p.m. on the 7th, but it's the session of the 8th. I know that's confusing, but that's how futures work because we're around the clock. Okay, so as we look at these profiles, you could see that it had a consolidation. We tested, we made a V bottom on the Iran news, and we finished in the upper distribution. And then from there, that set us up really well for a push higher. Balanced day, double distribution day, pretty balanced day, relatively balanced day, an exploration day, balanced day, balanced day, balanced day, exploration day, balanced day, and long liquidation. Most likely a long liquidation day. So we are templating the 8th, the session of the 8th, and that's what crude looks like. And then if it does continue to go lower, see how far the 8th has pushed. It's gone relatively far down. These prices are adjusted for the rollover. The low is 67.71 on the 8th. So if you want clues as to what's going on in crude, you'll want to bring up this day. Resistance now is in this area right here. Right here. Wow, I expected that to turn into a rectangle. Let's try that again. Like this. Be amazing if it worked. Oh my God, it worked. So resistance is now on the way up at about 69.50 or so. It did test it right here. Did retest from below right there. But any resistance right now is the immediate resistance is at 69.50. In fact, it extends out here. Big stock zone there. Okay. So this isn't a market you want to fade right now. It's likely to hold steady, consolidate at the low. This is a long liquidation type situation, so you're likely to see a B-shaped profile in there into the close of the session. It's still struggling with a key area that I outlined in the head trader room and convergenttrading.com. Yes, I'll keep plugging it. 68.83 is key. We just shifted the point of control to 68.81. 68.81. Very methodical there. Move despite the frantic selling. One last thing. I want to show you this. This is the overnight session. And you could see that we traded pretty much sideways throughout the session. Since that spike, look at this push through 33. This is what I was talking about when I was saying that we took out some stops. Remember, 32.50, 33 is really important. And look at that stop run. Very big print, big volume below, and a stop run, and now consolidation. Now we test the collision from below right here. Classic. From above, I mean. Test from below, continue lower, retest from below, and then we get this run down. And so it's very technical move. The volume has been rising. So just the volume is continuing to just go up and up and up. And we're finding a base now in that in the 16.5 area. So as we come into today's session, I'm watching that 22 and I'm watching the 27 from below in the ES. If you have Bookmap, which I think is by far the better order flow software. If you have Bookmap and you're part of Convergent, please ask so you can get these the notes that are dynamically updated through our cloud server. Thanks, everyone. Have a great Friday. And don't forget, it's a long weekend. Monday session, the futures are open until 12 Central, 1 Eastern. But I do not recommend that you trade it. The weather here is spectacular this weekend. The mid-80s Fahrenheit, I think that's 26-ish, 27 Celsius. So I'm expecting Monday's session to be quite dead. Good luck, everyone, and take care.